What is going on, everyone? Anthony Drew Gary here, host of The How-To Show, where we talk about optimizing life, money, and happiness one how-to at a time. This week on the show, I'm going to talk about ways to pay less when it comes to watching content on your TV at home, as well as some options to watch things for free online. I saw a meme a while back that suggested that Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, HBO, ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, Apple TV, and all the rest of the streaming apps needed to get their stuff together and lump everything together for one price. Now, I thought to myself that sounded a lot like cable, and everybody hated that. So if people are not happy paying $100 a month for everything, and they're also not happy paying $10 a month for 10 different streaming services, there has to be a better way, right? Well, thankfully there is. My wife and I cut the cord a few years ago on our cable, and we really don't miss it because there's so many options for getting content on the internet. And I think it's easy to get caught up in all the different apps that all have their individual monthly fees and get stuck in the mindset that those all add up collectively and it would be cheaper to just stick with cable. Fortunately, if you're willing and diligent, there's no reason you can't have your cake and eat it too and save a ton of money while you're doing it. What if instead of paying for every subscription every month, you only subscribe to maybe one or two providers per month and then rotated them throughout the year? So let's look at this practically. In January, my wife and I picked up Netflix because we wanted to watch the new season of You, but we wanted to make sure that we had Netflix for the entire month, so we also watched several other things that we had been saving that are specifically on Netflix. And then in February, maybe it's time to pick up Hulu. And in March, you can pick up HBO. In April, you can pick up ESPN Plus. In May, you can pick up CBS All Access. And depending on how many different networks you're interested in, maybe add more and more of these. And you just start the rotation over once you're run through all of your shows. So what happens when something comes that's hot on HBO, but this month you have Netflix? You can start a notepad on your phone to think of things that you'd like to watch, and when they're on the service that you have, you can watch them at that time. When it comes to time to cancel HBO and pick up Netflix, you already have a queue of things on Netflix that you're ready to watch. You can also post to social media and ask what people are watching on a specific app, whichever month you have that service. Now, managing your own subscriptions will be on a rotation, and it'll cut your TV costs from, let's say, $100 a month down to roughly maybe $10 or $15 a month. And at the end of the year, you've still managed to watch all of the content across the different platforms because you're only paying for one streaming service each month. It really gets better than that, though, because the odds are that when you cancel a service, within the next few months, you'll likely get an email to enjoy a free month of that service from your canceled provider as they try to suck you back in and get you to become a customer again. So instead of $100 a month, you're looking at $10 to $15 or sometimes even $0 per month. And if it sounds daunting to have to cancel a service each month, that's exactly what the streaming providers want it to feel like. And it really doesn't take more than a few minutes on any of these services. It's well worth your time. And additionally, be sure to check out the different options for paying for these services. I know that there are some credit cards that offer rewards when you're paying for streaming or subscription services. And so if you have some of those cards, make sure you're utilizing that. It's worth a mention that I'm not including the cost of home internet in this discussion. I'm assuming for the purposes of this discussion that everyone would have internet regardless of what they're watching on their TV. Now, a common rebuttal against cutting the cord is the concept of live sports. If you're someone who subscribes to Sling or Hulu because of the live sports, think about whether you really need that subscription for the entire year. The same goes for anyone subscribing to DirecTV specifically for NFL Sunday Ticket. You pay a premium for the entire year to have something that really only gives you benefit from September through December. So for what you're paying, you might as well go watch that football game at a sports bar, and you'll end up paying similar to the total price, but at least you'll get fed every week that you go out and you watch that game. Now, I'm not going to dive exactly into how to do it or the ethics behind it, but most all live sports can be found somewhere online, and there are plenty of videos on YouTube that can show you exactly how to do that. Besides all of the ways to stream content on the internet, there are also some ways to watch TV and movies for free, and I want to talk about some of those now. The first is a website called Vudu, V-U-D-U, and either using a smart TV or an app on a streaming stick, Vudu has rotating movies that you can watch for free with ads, but the ads aren't very long. It's much shorter than what you used to watch when you were watching regular broadcast TV advertising. The next is right here on YouTube. The YouTube Movies channel has a section of free movies to watch, and the last I checked there were about 400 titles on it, and those titles rotate frequently. Also on YouTube, there are a large number of documentaries for history buffs or anything in that nature. DocSpot, D-O-C-S-P-O-T, is one channel that has a ton of documentaries that I've watched a couple of, and for the most part, they're all studio quality. It's good stuff to watch. Now, I'll link to Vudu and to DocSpot in the show notes. But while we're at it on the free items, don't sleep on your local library. The libraries are publicly funded, so you've already paid everything that you need to take advantage of their services. And the library, everyone that I've been to, has movies that you can check out, so just don't forget about that. And finally, on the free bandwagon is this thing over here. So, even though this isn't technically free, this is a TV antenna, and for some reason or another, it seems like everybody under the age of 40 forgot that this exists. And my wife and I have one of those in both the living room and in our bedroom. I think that one was maybe $25, and they pick up all of the national channels in our area. Now, if you live out in the country, you may need to buy a little nicer one to make sure that you're getting the channels. But those are all of the different ways that I know of that you can use to make your TV bills and your streaming content more affordable, and so that you can direct that money toward things that'll give you a better value or things that are more important to you. That is going to bring this episode of the How To Show to a close. I hope you've learned something in this episode and identified something actionable that you can take away. If you did, please leave me a comment letting me know your thoughts. Now, if you haven't already smashed that like button, you know it's not too late to do so. You can do that now. And be sure to subscribe to my channel so that you can be the first to know about new content that comes out each and every week. If you have an idea or a topic that should be good for the How To Show, or a guest that might want to join, please let me know in the comments. I love reading that. Until next time, this is Anthony Drew Gary, host of the How To Show, signing off.